Welcome to today's public workshop. The focus of today's presentation will be Rutherford County as part of a 3-county regional study that also includes McDowell and Polk counties. Before we begin the presentation, please see the NCDOT's Notice of Non-Discrimination. Any person who believes they have been mistreated by an unlawful discriminatory practice under an NCDOT program has a right to file a complaint directly with the NCDOT. Please see the contact information to file a complaint. On the agenda today, we will be discussing these various topics: general CTP information, which includes the what, why, and how of creating a CTP, review of vision statement, review of goals and objectives, CTP preliminary recommendations. The multimodal recommendations will touch on the various transportation needs within the county. What is CTP? The acronym CTP stands for Comprehensive Transportation Plan. The CTP is a long-range study projecting 25 years to 30 years into the future, which in this case is 2045. CTPs are multimodal in nature. The plan will focus on these various elements: highway and roads, bicycle, pedestrian, public transit, and rail. CTPs are data-driven studies that are derived from local plans, community, and statewide goals. CTPs are locally driven by stakeholders. With the help of the steering committee and local citizens like you, we can create a CTP with a holistic viewpoint. It is important to note that CTP recommendations are concepts, and any improvement will go through a rigorous environmental process before final alignments or designs can be determined. Why do we need a CTP? It's in North Carolina General Statute 136-66.2 that calls for the development of CTPs in North Carolina. It helps to determine alternatives that will address transportation needs, which could potentially turn into future projects. It's the first step in the process of building a project. It can help to foster consistency while creating common, long-range vision for facilities between NCDOT, MPOs, RPOs, and local governments. It's a document that helps to better integration land use with transportation planning. Gray section. Develop vision system assessment. Analyze alternatives. Earlier in the planning process, we were able to develop the community vision statement, goals, and objectives. From there, a system assessment of various data sets was completed to help analyze transportation deficiencies. All Rutherford County population and employment data projections were approved by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners. Further research was completed via a survey crafted for each specific county. After all local transportation information and constraints were evaluated, the steering committee was able to produce a list of recommendations that would address various transportation deficiencies within the county. Currently, we are at the stage where the multimodal recommendations are now presented to the citizens of the county. You, local citizens, will have an opportunity to view and comment on the recommendations within these CTP maps. Doing this will help the finalization of our assessment of the local transportation deficiencies. Once the CTP recommendations maps are completed, our goal is to obtain mutual agreements from the local municipalities, certifying that we are reflecting the overall county's transportation needs. Green section. Develop final plan, adopt plan. From here, we will gather all the remaining information needed to complete a full CTP report. Once the report is reviewed by the steering committee and is deemed completed, we will bring the finished product back to the municipalities and seek adoption. The final step will be for the NCDOT Board of Transportation to adopt the report. Once this is completed, Rutherford County will have new and up-to-date comprehensive transportation plan. The isothermal regional CTP vision statement was crafted by the locally based steering committee to reflect the current and future transportation vision of the isothermal region. The top 3 CTP goals are: provide a safe transportation system, provide a transportation network that is accessible to all users, provide transportation facilities that accommodate all modes of transportation, and provide opportunities to live a healthy lifestyle. The top 3 CTP objectives are: promote states' highway safety plans' goal of reducing deaths and severe injuries by half by 2045. Ease navigation for residents and visitors through the strategic location and increased quantity of road and wayfinding signs. Provide adequate bicycle and pedestrian accommodations, especially within town or city limits, including sidewalks to connect schools to residential areas within 2 miles. Now we will present the draft recommendations for Rutherford County. Projects encompass highways, greenways, bicycle, pedestrian, and train projects. Highway projects are diamonds of various colors, depending on the type of project, and non-highway projects can be identified by both shape and color. All recommendations that you are about to see are concepts only. Final alignments will not be decided until further in the project process, during which there will be multiple other opportunities for public involvement and feedback. The first guided tour is of a corridor that is very important to the region, US 64. This 35-mile corridor connects Lake Lore to the Tri-Cities and I-40. Starting from the west, it is recommended to add bike lanes from the Buncombe County to Chimney Cliffs Drive, with sidewalk added from Johns Road to Chimney Cliffs. On the other side of downtown, Lake Lore is recommended to add bike lanes between Harris Road and Island Creek Road. The Broad River Greenway is proposed to follow the river from Buffalo Shoals Road to US 64 at Island Creek Drive, then running alongside US 64 as far as Rock Springs Church Road. Starting at Bills Creek Road, it is recommended to modernize US 64 all the way into Rutherfordton, adding turn lanes, paved shoulder, and making lanes more comfortable for drivers without adding travel lanes. At Rock Springs Church Road, the Broad River Greenway diverges from US 64 and continues along the river all the way to Cleveland County, southeast of Cliffside. Nearing Rutherfordton, the complicated intersection of Mountain, Frady, Hickory, and North Washington Streets is recommended to be improved. A section of bike lane is proposed to follow US 64 from the intersection up to Dieter Street, with sidewalk from North Main Street to Dieter. The section of side path from Dieter Street to the Thermal Belt Rail Trail will be constructed as part of the US 221 Rutherford bypass, along with a widening of US 64 to 4 lanes. The section of trail that follows Dieter Street is a proposed extension of the Purple Martin Greenway, and along with the part of the Thermal Belt Trail north of US 64 to the left here, are part of the Over Mountain Victory Trail. East of town, it is recommended to both modernize and add bike lanes to US 64, all the way to the McDowell County line. This will include more comfortable lanes and turn lanes where appropriate. The next guided tour is of the Charlotte Road and Main Street corridor. This corridor stretches from Rutherfordton to Forest City, and US 74 business extends all the way to Cleveland County and NC 120. Starting from the west, NC 108 coming into town is recommended to have a bike lane. The complicated intersection of Maple, Monfredo, and South Washington Streets is recommended to be improved. Both a modernization and bike lanes are recommended for the remainder of 108 between here and Main Street. Charlotte Road between Main Street and Ohio Street is proposed to be modernized with bike improvements. The intersection of Railroad Avenue and Charlotte Road is recommended to be improved, particularly after the completion of the Rutheford bypass and the interchange with Charlotte Road just to the west. Main Street in Spindale from Ohio Street to Ledbetter Road is recommended to have bike lanes and sidewalk where feasible. Oakland Road is recommended to be realigned with Ledbetter Road and the intersections improved. East of the intersection, Main Street is proposed to be modernized with bike lanes and sidewalks all the way to Smith Grove Road in Forest City. In Forest City, Main Street is recommended to be modernized with bike lanes and sidewalk where feasible from Smith Grove Road to South Church Street. The bike lanes and sidewalk are recommended to continue along Main Street and US 74 Business to Old US 74 Highway. East of Old US 74 Highway, bike lanes are recommended until the Cleveland County line. Next are highlights from other improvement projects in Rutherford County. First, it is recommended to upgrade US 74 to interstate standards. The Thermal Belt Rail Trail is proposed to be extended from its current end in Gilkey all the way to Marion and the Peavine Rail Trail. US 221 is also proposed to be widened to 4 lanes with bicycle improvements at Key Crossing from the end of the Rutherford Bypass project at Roper Loop Road all the way to Marion. The next focus is on the area around the RS Central High School of RS Middle School. A series of greenways around the school is proposed to connect to Thompson Road, Westbrook Drive, and Main Street. These greenways will connect across US 221, either at the Thompson Road intersection or at the current intersection of Broyhill Road, which will be relocated with the bypass construction. These greenways connect to the Thermal Belt Rail Trail and to proposed bike lanes on Thompson Road, Broyhill Road, and Main Street. The Railroad Avenue corridor is recommended to be modernized with intersection improvements from Charlotte Road to the Rutherford Bypass at US 64. The Bostic Spur is an old rail line connecting downtown Bostic to the Thermal Belt Rail Trail. It is proposed to be converted into a rail trail. Oak Street in Forest City is a major east-west thoroughfare. The recommendation here is to extend Oak Street from its current end at South Broadway Street to East Main Street near McCall Drive. As recommended, it would be a 4-lane divided boulevard with bike lanes and sidewalk. US 221A in Caroline connects the Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy. The road is proposed to be modernized with lanes made more comfortable for drivers, straightening curves and adding paved shoulder from Milton Street in Caroline to Main Street in Henrietta. Finally, here are a few key projects in Lake Lore. Starting in downtown Lake Lore, the proposed Lake Lore Parkway will connect Chimney Rock State Park to downtown Lake Lore and should help ease traffic on US 64 through Lake Lore. Next, NC 9 is proposed to be modernized with bike lanes and sidewalks added from Polk County to Memorial Highway, in accordance with the master plan from the town of Lake Lore. Last, Island Creek Road is proposed to be modernized with lanes made more comfortable and paved shoulders from NC 9 to US 64. A small section of sidewalk is recommended between NC 9 and the entrance to the Lake Lore Classical Academy.
Thank you all for watching this video. The video will be available online after the session, and there will be an online map for those unable to attend the in-person sessions, as well as links to the PDF version of the physical maps. Now's your chance to comment and discuss all of the recommendations. The recommendations shown in the video were only a subset, and there may be other recommendations on the maps you have questions or comments about. For more information on the CTP, please scan the QR code and go to the web address shown. We will now move to the question and answer session with the project team, whose contact details are available here. If you have any further questions after this live session, we will be accepting comments until Monday, April 12th, 2021.